Can you hear me? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, to me, uh, the to me, the class has been amazing from the beginning. And I want to say this: the really helps me a lot, particularly because
I,
whenever I'm lost in terms of some one or two. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you very
Hello?
well. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I know. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you
What
now.
about now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, what I'm saying, as a beginner, like, so the YouTube really helps me a lot because at times when I'm confused, I just go to YouTube and watch, then I will get what I need to know. I think the class has been amazing. It's every day. It's amazing. That's just what I'm. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, at least I'm getting better every day with the help of YouTube because when I'm lost, I'll go back to the YouTube, watch and rewatch and get what I need to get. So that's just it.
Any other person? Any other person? We still have 4 more minutes. We still have 4 more minutes. I want to get the feedback.
Hello, good evening.
Right. Good evening.
Okay. For me, it's been very interesting for me and very challenging. However, the places I find difficulty is when I'm trying to apply some of the formulas or functions and I get an error message. So at times I find it hard to kind of interpret what exactly it's saying. Maybe it's telling me missing apprentices somewhere or missing something. So at times I
I don't
find it
get that.
difficult.
Can you repeat it? I can't hear you. Can you repeat? I'm sorry.
Okay, I said I've been getting along very
Okay.
well with the
Okay.
function. At least I've been able to at least practicalize all the topics we've done so far. I said, however, the places I just find challenging is when I'm trying to apply a formula or function and I get an error message. You know, this error message that pops out and say,
Yeah.
I probably I entered the wrong something. So I find it hard to
Yeah.
like interpret what it's telling me to do. So it
What
also
the error
always
is.
gives me this
Okay.
option. Yes, it always gives me option. Maybe it should help me. So I just go for that help. That I don't know what you're talking about. So just
Okay.
help me. So I just click
I
OK,
get
and it helps me get the where the error is. So I think
error
if
is.
I'm able to know what exactly is saying, then probably I'll get better understanding. But so far, I've been able to follow everything. It's just like verticalizing and trying to interpret some of those questions. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. So one last person. We still have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Who else? I mean, there's nothing about the class if there's no feedback. So it will even be nice if every one of us, if we like say our feedbacks, because from this part on is going to be so. Let me see what we have left. We have VLOOKUP. We have coming. I'm trying to see VLOOKUP. I'm trying to see the outline. We have VLOOKUP. I think we have conditional formatting, then pivot table, then hopefully, if we still have time, should be able to get to lookup function, conditional formatting, pivot table, and hopefully charts. Then yeah, I think, yeah, that should work. That should work. So is there any other person? Any other person? How's the class been for you? Where are you struggling? Your personal feedback. Any other person? Yeah, you can unmute your mic, please. Unmute your mic and speak, please. Unmute your mic, Joyce. You are raising your hand. Okay, you've lowered it. Okay. I guess no other person wants to share their own experience. Okay, if there's no other person, I think we are just going to continue coming. I want to move to a new window. Few minutes, please. Okay. So how are you? We are good to go. So this evening, so this evening we are going to be taking what's it called now? We are going to be taking VLOOKUP. I mean, we are going to be checking lookup function. Don't let me say VLOOKUP. So we are going to be checking lookup function. And so I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. Yeah, you can see my screen, right? Everybody should be able to see my screen. So intermediates for VLOOKUP. Yeah. So yeah, the way VLOOKUP works is that it helps in looking up a particular function or helping looking up. It's basically so how lookup function works is that, let's say for example, you have a catalog of names, like I have a dossier or say students in this school with serial number and all, but I want to search for a particular I want to search for the record of a particular serial number. Say the cell I mean the sheet I have has close to like 30,000 contacts, for example. Say we have close to 30,000 contacts on that sheet, on that particular sheet, and I needed to get their information, the information of say just five of those students. Then what you would need to use is a lookup function. So what you need to use is a lookup function. Come in. Yeah, what you need to use is a lookup function. You have a dossier, you have a serial number, and then you want to just get the details. Just like this now, for example. So we have part catalog. This is the catalog of parts of this product. So this product does these parts, all of these parts now. But we want to look for this exact part number. So these are the parts. What's that? So we want to look for, can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so we want to look for the information for this part, that is this part from these sheets. You can even see that this is a totally different sheet. And this is a totally different sheet. So what you will need to do is to use a lookup function. And one of the early lookup functions is a VLOOKUP. So we are going to be making use of VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then return a value in the same row from a column you specify. By default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. Okay, so when you select VLOOKUP, the first thing is the lookup value. Which value do you want to look up? So I want to look up this value, this part number. I want to look up this part number. The table array, that is, which table did I want to look up this part number? So I'm going to come here. You've written a comma, so the next thing you want to go is you go to this part catalog, and then you select the range of this table, all of this table, by the way, like all of this table. So if you are using Windows, the way to select all of the table is by you press your Shift, Control, and Side together. Shift, Control, Side will move to the last end before another space. That is the last end before an empty cell. If there is another word at this cell now, it will not move there. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, I'm trying to select a range here, so this will not work. But when I select this range, when I'm done, okay, let me clear up all of this so that I'll be able to show us what I mean. So if you go to this part catalog now, if I select, if there's a space here, insert, if I'm trying to use Shift Control Dash, it is going to stop here because there is an empty cell here. So Shift Control Side arrow, it stops at the cell before the next empty cell. So yeah, so what I want to do is you are going to select Shift Control Side. The reason for this is that you can have your table array can be, say, let's say it is 26 columns and 30,000 rows. Now, it will be very hard for you to be highlighting it one by one. So the best and easiest way is Shift Control Side arrow, and then while still pressing the Shift Control, you press down arrow. So it is going to cover up the whole of that table. I don't know if you get me. Another thing you can do is to name the table. That is, what I mean by naming the table is select, say, all of this, Shift Control Side, and then down. Then come to this place to name the table. So you can give the table parts, let's just call it, okay, let's call it catalog, for example. So catalog. So anytime you call catalog now, for example, you are calling the whole table. You can see that this has reproduced the whole table, the whole of that sheet. So it's either you decide to name the whole of that table so that it is easier for you, or you call up that particular range. So we are going to come up to this VLOOKUP back. So VLOOKUP, this is what we are looking up. We are looking up for that part, comma, the table array. So we are going to go to part catalog and then select year to year, year to year. This is our table array. And you would have to lock this as an absolute cell. I mean, as an absolute cell, yes. And the reason for locking it up as an absolute cell is that by the time I start moving that part numbers down, I want it to be able to follow through. Like, I don't want to re-enter the formula. So that's why I'm locking up that particular table so that when I'm moving it down, it does not shift to the side or down. So
sorry, your screen is not showing again.
My screen is not showing again.
It's
Is
back.
it the only
It's
one?
back.
Okay. So it went off briefly.
Yes.
Okay, so part catalog, that's the table array. Then the next thing is column index. What they mean by column index is that the column index of the column index of the parts, the column index of the parts, which is that is the what you are looking, what's the word now? What you are looking for, the column you are looking for, which is the part number. It is in column index 1. This is 1, 2, 3. So the index is index 1. Then the range of the lookup is exact match. So let me explain this now. The reason for selecting, so this is how lookup function works. You select all of this table, right? And then you are looking for, oh, okay, I'm sorry. The column index should actually be index 3. It is the index of the column you are looking for. Yes, please. The index of the column you are looking for, which is index 3, and then exact match. Okay, so this is how it works. VLOOKUP, look for this value, look for A5, which is the part number, look for it in this table array, all of this table array, right? And then return the proportional results in column 3. That is, if I look at this part number, let's say the part number is 19232. 1, 2, 3. Whatever it is in this 3 that is equivalent to this particular part number, that is, it is going to check this and then check like this and say, okay, column 3, this is the result. This is what we have. And then it must be exact match. That is the exact match. You are looking for the exact match of this part number. I will show us the place where we use approximate, but in this case, we are looking at the exact match, and then you press enter. You can see, okay, for this one is actually description. So you can see, because the column index I selected is index 2, that is column index number 3, instead of column index number 2. Description is in index 2. Description is in index 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to index 2. And then you can see we have the equivalent. Part number 1932. So let's look for 1932. We have dull handle, level on plate back more than, horrific, latched, whatever. So we are expecting that result. Dull handle, level on plate, horrific, whatever. So yeah. So the reason I made this an absolute reference the other time is so that when I double click this, I would have the results like this. Yeah, you can see now, for example, that for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now let's check for part catalog. We actually don't have any part catalog that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this particular case, this is where our error handler, the error handler we did in the last class, this is where it works. So to use this, we are just going to cut this and write if error, our actual value this, and then value if error is not available, or maybe not in store, or whatever we want it to be, and then we press enter. So this will handle our error such that you can see we have not available, such that we don't have this error again. So let me change this, one of the part catalog, to another thing. Let me change it to 93703 now, for example. So let me change this to 93703. You can see it has changed to the actual value of this 93703. So the way VLOOKUP works is that since you've selected that table, so the first thing is you select the parts, whatever you want to look out for. So I want to look out for this, look for it under this table, like the whole of this table. Then look for the resultant results in whichever column you select, that is the column index. In this case, column index 2. So we'll see the same thing. If it is price we want to check out for, our column index will be column index 3. So we are going to do the same thing now. Equals to VLOOKUP. Look for part number. look for it in our table array. So let me change that table. Let me give that table a name now. So let's say we want to make it easy, and I want to give this table, the whole of this table, catalog. So that's the table name. So it's going to be easier for me. So VLOOKUP this part number in catalog. So if I select this catalog, I don't need to make it an absolute reference again, because it knows that it is only checking that particular range of that table. So column index 3, and then exact match, and then enter. Then we'll have the same result. So I'm going to use an error handler here too again. If error, value, price not available. Yeah. So is this clear? Is this clear? I want to know, did we get this? Did we understand this? You can put your like in the chat box. I want to know if we got that. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, you have a question, Joyce. Okay, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Joyce. Or type your question in the chat box. Joyce, I thought you were raising your hand. I was expecting you to unmute your mic and ask your question. I was expecting, okay, you don't have, is there any, okay, let me check the chat. Okay, you understand. Yes, Joyce, I'm waiting for your answer. I mean, for your question. Oh, you're having issue with your audio. Can you type the question? Is there any other person that has a question? Please ask your question. Ask your question, please. The last slide, hero handler. The reason we are using the hero handler, which is the if error thing, is because this particular part is not available in the catalog. It's going to return an NA. As you can see, if you check this, you see an error here. A value is not available to the formula or function. So this is an error. So by using that error handler, okay, I think you went off. So Joyce, I'm explaining again. The reason we are using if error, which is an error handler, it's an error handler. The reason we are using it is because this particular part number is not available in the catalog, like that part catalog. It is not available. So it is going to return an NA, which is an error. So in order to like catch this error, use an if error so for every value, let's say we have a whole lot of part numbers that we have to return. So for everyone that does not have a part, that does not have a part number in the catalog, it's going to show maybe price not available, or this part is not available, or whatever you show. So this would let you know that, okay, this particular part does not have a result. Or probably you want the price to be 0, for example. You want it to return 0, whatever you want it to return. So that is what an if error, that is what it does. It handles the error that is there. So let's say, for example, we want to find, so let me say like this as 0 now, for example. So let's say we want to find the addition, the sum of this. So let me put when we still have an NA, and let's say I want to find the sum of this now. We are running into an error, and the reason we are running into an error is because of this NA, because we cannot add a number and a text. So let's say we've tried to, let's assume that we've added an error handler in this now, maybe a 0, and then so I move this down. We'll have a result because I've been able to handle this error so that it does not affect the overall result or overall whatever I need to do after. So do you get it, Joyce? Did you get it, Joyce?
Yes, I think I get it now.
Okay, so you can watch the last class before this. Yeah, I explained error handlers. So yeah, so this is an example of how VLOOKUP, how it works. Let me see another, let's check another example. Okay, thank you. Let me see if I can get another example. Exercise VLOOKUP. Let me see if there's a VLOOKUP here. Okay. Oh no, this one is sort by. Few minutes. Exercise 3. Okay, yeah. This is a very, very good example. So this is so we are also going to be testing something here. So we want to use athlete number. So we are going to create a data validation with athlete number such that when we select each of the athletes, it's going to show the bib number of the athletes, it's going to show the route number of the athletes, and it's going to show the position of the outlets. So how do we do? So we want to create a data validation that is like a drop down. So this is how we create a drop down. So we have all of these athletes, athlete name. We are first going to copy all of these athletes. So just select all of this and copy it. And then we'll copy it to another sheet, another row. So after copying it to another row, the first thing you want to do is you want to remove every duplicate because maybe a particular name is showing 2 times. So the way to remove duplicate is selecting that particular column and then coming to data here, data, then you see something here, you see a data validation. So when you select this data validation, no, okay, ahead of the data validation, you see something here, remove duplicates. So this, when you select remove duplicates, the column N, press OK. So we found, okay, there are no duplicates actually. The duplicate is found was the empty cells. So assuming, let me show us duplicates now. So this page, Lisa, I'm going to paste it here. So now we have 2 page Lisa. So you actually don't need to select all the column, just select this, all of this now. And then, so come here to clean all the duplicates, column N, and then press OK. 1 duplicate removed, which is the page Lisa. So I will show us the reason we are removing the duplicates now. So you are still going to select all of this. So you are going to come here, and then now you now go to, still under that data, you see data validation, select it, and then select data validation. So when you select this data validation, select lists. Under this allow, select lists. So when you select list, you are going to come to this source, select this source, and then this is the source we are going to be selecting, all of this. then you press enter, then you press OK. So this is going to create like a drop-down list, as you can see. It's going to create a drop-down list. Assuming you know that there is no duplicate here, we can also use this as our data source. So what do I mean? So let me go back to this. Let me delete this. So when you select these athletes, you go to the data option. Now you come to the data validation section. You select data validation. You change this from any value to list. After changing it to list, now your source would be this athlete name from year to year. Athlete name, and then you press enter. Then you press OK. So with this, you have a drop down of all of these names. You have a drop down of all of these names. So what we want to do is such that anytime we select any of these names, we have their equivalent bib number, route, and position using the VLOOKUP. So now we are going to use VLOOKUP equals to VLOOKUP, lookup for this value, which is the name. So we want to make this an absolute reference since we only want it to be looking out for the athlete's name in that particular cell range. So look up for that name, and then we want to look up for it in this table, just this place, this table. And then you might want to make this an absolute reference, or you can leave it because we are not doubling it down, but proper practice, make it an absolute value. The bib number is in, so I want us to put it in the chat box. What column index is the bib number? What column index is the bib number? What column index is the bib number? Yeah, 2, okay. Yes, it's in index 2, actually. So okay. It's in index 2, and then exact match. So you press exact match, you press enter. So now, Dustin Jonathan bib number is 173. Is that true? Let's check. 173, of course. So if we select White Daniels, 131. So this is the reason why we have a drop down. This is the reason why we have a drop down. Zebi, at Eric. So we are going to do the same thing for routes. For routes, VLOOKUP, we are looking up this number, table range, data table range, then column index routes is 1, 2, 3, 4. Index 4, and then position equals to VLOOKUP, lookup this, table array, column index, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 exact match, and then we'll press enter. So anytime we change any of these, we'll have equivalent bit number, routes, and position. So let's go, let me select Duran Brian. You can see, oh, this is not right because it should actually show West Loop. There is a problem somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Which 3? 3, 4. 3, 4. Should not be West Loop. Should not be. table 4. Okay, I did not put exact match or approximate match. I was wondering why the result was not giving me proper. Yeah, okay. Landonald. Yeah, it's loop. Michael, let me see. Yeah, West loop, position number 1. Did we understand this? Did we understand this? Okay, you have a question, Barry. Yeah.
I have a question.
I'm
Please,
listening. Yeah.
in the formula or syntax that you use, I
Yes.
noticed you're putting like is it an arbitrary number that you're putting? You're putting like either 4 or 5. I understand the rest of the parameter, but the last one, because the last one I didn't get it.
I don't. Okay, the last one.
Yeah, in that syntax,
Okay.
the formula that you're using,
The first one, right?
the last. No, I
The
mean
range.
for okay, either for BIP number, route, or position. Okay.
Yeah.
When you are solving each of the problem,
Yeah.
at the tail end of the formula, you put a number 4, 5, indicating position.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The column index. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
why I didn't understand.
You don't understand. So this is index. Column index is just the index of your column. This is column 1. This is column 2. This is column 3. This is column 4. This is column 5. So the index of that particular column in that table. Say, for example, now, if there is a space here, if I insert a space to this left, your column index is still, this is still column 1, this is still column 2, this is column 3, column 4, column 5. In this particular table. So that is that is the number that you have here. It is the column index. So for VLOOKUP, you have lookup value, the value you want to look up, the table array, the table you want to look up, the column index, the index of that particular column you want to look up, and then the match, either an exact match or an approximate match. Do you get it now?
Okay, please, can you put your cursor on any of these, either BIP number? Let me show you what I'm really talking about in the formula bar.
Okay, BIP number.
Yeah, you see, before false.
Yeah.
Please, can you just overall it?
Okay, before false.
As when you click on
column index.
No, when you click on, let me say, just click on maybe H4,
H3. I can't hear you anymore.
Hello, before 4.
I can hear you.
Okay, you have 4.
Okay.
So that figure 4 is what I'm asking after.
Yes, that's what I just explained. So for routes now, what we want to look at here is the routes. The route of this player. We want it to return. The column index is what you want it to return. So let me explain. Yeah, we want it to return the BIP number. So our BIP number is in index 2, column index 2. This is column index 1, like that. This is column index 2. So our BIP number, the index we'll be using will be index 2. In the route is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Column 4. So the number we'll be using will be 4. Then the position is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if you get that now.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
It's clear now. Okay, good. Any other person with question? Any other person with question? Any other person with question? Okay, another person with question.
Okay. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, please, how did you get the position? I need to know how you got the position.
So this is the position. The position is just the column number of each one. Or this, do you mean this position? Or the position of the index itself? The position of the index itself, this is index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the column index is the is the index of that in that table. So if you are looking for BIP number, this is index 2. If you are looking for events, this is number 3. This is index 3, 1, 2, 3. Route is 4, position is 5. Did we get it, please? Did we get it, please?
Yes, I get it now.
Oh, okay. Any other person? Any other person, please? Okay, since we don't have another question. So there are certain limitations with VLOOKUP. One of the limitations is that VLOOKUP can only look forward. That is, it only looks to the left. Yep, like continuously to the left. That is, you cannot, for example, now, if what you are looking for is the events, you cannot look for the athlete name and BIP number. You can only look forward, not backward. So say what you are looking for is the BIP number. You cannot use this BIP number to look for the person's name. You can only use it to look for the events, routes, and position. You cannot use it to look backwards. So that is one of the limitation of VLOOKUP, and in comes XLOOKUP. But before we go to XLOOKUP, what we've done so far is we've only done for for exact match. So now we are going to do for approximate match, and it's going to be interesting what we can get using for exact match. Let me see. For approximate match, 3, okay, 4. So for approximate match, now we have, before we even treat the salary margin, let's do for the students we had the other day and their scores. So I think I dropped let me see. I want to look for, coming. Give me a few minutes. I want to check for the data I shared here for the student and their name. Okay, we still have it here. Name, gender, scores. So the other day we make use of what's it called now? The other day we make use of if statements, like nested if statements, to get ABCD, like the scores of these students. We can actually also use a VLOOKUP to get the results of the students, but you have to pay very, very good attention. So we want to use VLOOKUP to get the results of these students. And yeah, so we are going to write out their scores, and then we are going to write out their scores. So in this place, the limitation is 100 for me. 69, no, 70. Is this, do I have to start with 70? Okay, I think I have to start with 70. 70A. 69. I think it's B starts from 60, right? Okay, 60B, 50C, 45G, right? 40E, and then 0. F starts from 0. Let me see if this is right. So we have our score here. So you are going to put the lower limit of your score, 70, 60, 50, 45, 40, and 0. What I mean by lower limit is this score is 100 to 70. This score is 60 to 69, that kind of thing. You are going to put the lower limit. That is the lowest they can score, 69 to 60 rather. The lowest they can score. I'm not sure. I think it should be lower limits anyways. But now let's use VLOOKUP to look it up. So VLOOKUP, look up for this value in this table array. This two, we are just going to select this two. This table array, let me make it absolute. And then
Yeah, sorry,
the
I
column
can't see.
index, that's, you can't see my screen. Is she the only one that cannot see?
It's not moving. It's not moving.
It's not moving at all. My screen is static.
No. Yes.
Even right now, I think it should be the network. I'm going to reshare my screen. Yep. Can you see my screen now? Is it moving now?
Yes.
Okay, it
Yes,
is
I
moving
Yes.
can
You
now.
can
see
try
now.
moving your cursor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let me re-enter. So VLOOKUP, we are looking at this value, table array, this table, and then I want to make this an absolute reference. And then column index, that is what I want it to return. Column index here will be 2 because 1, 2. So I want it to return 2. Now, instead of selecting exact match, because you will not find the exact match of 59 here, what we are going to select is approximate match, not the exact match. So press enter. Okay. Then this is not right. So I think I have to use the, let me try to use the upper limits. Let me try to use the upper limits. Upper limits 69. Let me try to use 59. I'm not sure it's the upper limits, but let me check it first. 45, right? 39. Okay, here. I think it's the upper limits. It's the upper limits. 169. Okay, because this is supposed to be 100 to 70, 69 to 60, 59 to 50, 49 to, this should be 49 to 45, right? 49 to 45. Yeah, this should be 49 to 45. E should actually be 44 then. 44 to 40. And then the remaining is 39 to 0. Yeah, so I think it's the upper limits. So let me pull this down. There's a problem. It's not the upper limits. Okay. It's been a while I've done this. So let me reroute. I think it's from, okay. Let me try from descending to ascending. What's this word called now? Let me try from Yeah, so let me try 39, 44, 49, 69, 69, 100. So F, E, D, C, B, A. So if this does not work, it means it's going to be the other way around, like the other inverse. Okay. So then it means what I have to use is let me use the lower bound 0, yeah, 0, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70. Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry we have to go through that out. I've forgotten how I use the approximate match. So for approximate match, actually, it has to be VLOOKUP. Let me go back to when I enter VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns a value in the same row for a column. By default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. Yeah, so it's supposed to be from the lowest to the biggest. Yeah, ascending order. And yeah, so for this score now, what you have to do is list out your lower bound, list out the lower bounds. Then you have to arrange it from ascending to descending. What I mean by the lower bound is for this, our score 100 to 70 is A. 100 to 70 is A. 69 to 60 is B. 59 to 50 is C. 49 to 45 is D. 44 to 40 is E. 39 to 0 is F. But we are going to use, our representation here will be the lower bound, which is 0, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70. And then we are going to put the equivalent score. So let me explain this again. Let me delete this and put the VLOOKUP. So for VLOOKUP here, we want it to look up this score. We want to look up. So instead of using the if statement that we used the other day, you just need to write out how you want the score line to look like. Then lookup function, then the table array, which is this table. We are looking at this table array, but we have to make this an absolute reference, like we've always done before now. So we have to make this an absolute reference so that by the time we are moving up, down, it is going to stay static on this table. Then the next thing is the column index. The column index is the index of the column you want it to return. And in this case, the column index is 2 because in our table, we just have 1, 2. So I want it to return whatever equivalence of 59 is in table 2. And then, so we are going to select 2 range lookup. Instead of using exact match like we did in the previous example, what we are going to be using is an approximate match because it is not going to find the exact match of 59. It's not going to see the 59 score here. But what it's going to do is it's going to look at 0. From 0 to F, there is 59 does not match there. There's a 40. So it's going to check for 40. Okay, it's not 40. There's a 45. It's not there. So it's going to check 50. So 59 is between 50 and 60. So it means it is going to select the C approximately. 59 is within the C gap. So it's going to do like that. Oh, I did not select the approximate. Approximate is 1. You can also select 1. True, yeah. Approximate. And then we have a C. So it's going to check 59 within this range. It is under C. And then the same thing for others. 88 falls after like more than 70. 64 under B. Like that. And that's how we're able to use it for this. So I'm going to, for better understanding, I'm going to use this example. So in this example, we have an annual salary. This is our annual salary. and we want a marginal tax rate. We already have our marginal tax rate. This is the marginal tax rate. So this is the low end and this is the high end. So we want the marginal salary for each of these annual salary. We want it to return the marginal tax equivalent to this annual salary. So we are going to use our VLOOKUP lookup for this annual salary. Our table array would be all of this. This is what we want you to look. We want you to look at this table and then look at this table and then return the equivalent in column index 1, 2, 3, because what we want is marginal tax rate. So a marginal tax rate is in column index 3. So column index 3 and then approximate match. Then we'll press enter. So it's going to check 55. 55 falls under 55 falls under this range, 35 and 85, which is 25% marginal tax. 89, I mean 896 whatever falls under this low end, this low and high end, this first one. And then it means the marginal tax rate will be 10%. 90,000 falls under this, which is going to be 28%. If I drag this down, for example, now, the reason it's giving 10% is this is from 0 to this high end, so it's going to give you 10%. But I want to plug a number. Let's say I plug 400 here now, for example, 400,000 pounds. It is going to give a 35% because we already, this one is 38 and above. It is actually going to be reading this. It's not actually reading this high end. It's going to be reading the lower bound, that is from this value to this value. This is what it's going. It's going to be reading this table to give out the equivalence here. Did we understand, please? Or I'm speaking gibberish. I want to know if you understand. Put it in the chat box. You are a bit confused. Put it in the chat box. I want to know. I want to know. I understand. Yeah, please. Yeah. I can't hear you.
I said you should please go over it again.
Okay, I should go over it again. Any other person? If you understand it, I want to know how many people understand this. Okay, Joyce. Only Joyce. Okay, yeah, Mr. Emmanuel. Please unmute your mic, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, can anyone hear me?
Yes, your voice is audible.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
okay. All right, thank you. Yes, so I actually came late.
Yeah.
I came late, but I just wanted to confirm that V, what does it mean actually?
The VLOOKUP.
The V in the VLOOKUP, what does it mean?
I think it is vertical. Should it be vertical lookup? Yes, I think. Yes, I think it's vertical lookup. There is also HLOOKUP, which is horizontal lookup.
Okay, okay. So this VLOOKUP now, is it looking at values in ascending order or in descending order?
In ascending order.
Ascending order.
Yes.
All right.
We already treated one part. That is the exact match. So I guess probably when you watch the video, you will get the one for the exact match. The exact match matches the equivalent of that exact word. But the one we are doing now is the approximate match.
All right,
So,
no
so
problem.
I'm just going to re-explain again. So let me do so for this. Again, I'm going to. So for the person that did not understand, I'm going to come again. So we have this core. Remember in the previous class, the way we did this was that we use a nested if statement, and we have to write a whole lot of if statements in order to be able to put a grade label on all of this. But instead of going through all of those processes, we can just simply write out our grade score or our grade level, that is from the lowest to the highest. So 0 to 40 to 45 to 50. That is what this means is, so let me add an extra here so that it will be easier. So this is going to be our lower bound and upper bound. We can name this lower and this one upper. We can name this lower and we can name this upper. So yeah, so for the lower bound, to get an F is going to be from 0 to 39. This one is from 40 to 45. I mean to 44 rather, 40 to 44. This one is 45 to 49. C is 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 and above. So yeah, so let me delete this. I don't need this again. So we have our lower and our upper band, and then we have the grade we want to give them. This is the grade. Yeah. So how it is now going to work is you are going to use a VLOOKUP. Like I said, VLOOKUP look at the value in the leftmost column of a table, then returns the value in the same row from that column. And then by default, the table must be sorted ascending, like in ascending order. So VLOOKUP. So when you select VLOOKUP, the first thing is the lookup value. That is the value you want to look up. In this case, I want to look for the score 59. So lookup value. Then our table array. Now we have this table. This is our table array. We are going to select all of this table, which is our table array. And like I said, you would want to do you a lot of good to make this an absolute index, because I mean an absolute reference, because if you don't make it an absolute reference, you get a wrong answer by the time you start dragging this down. So absolute reference, which has logged up this value here, our column index number, which is the index of the result we want. So for example, our score, we want the result. That is what we want is a replica of, I mean, an approximate value of whatever we have here, the grade level, which is in column 3. That is going to check this table. What is the index of the column we want the results to be? So we want it to be the grade level, which is going to be index 1, index 2, index 3. So our grade is in the third column, so it's going to be index 3. And then instead of selecting exact match, if I select exact match here, it is only going to give results for the ones that have the exact value. That is the exact value. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select approximate match. So approximate match and then press enter. So it's going to look at 59 and look at from this lower bound, which one fits in the equivalent that fits in approximately from here. The equivalent would be the result here. And that's how we have all of this filled up. All of this filled up. So let's come here now. So for here, we have the same thing. We already have the low end and the high end, and then the equivalent marginal tax rate. This is the equivalent marginal tax rate. So for any salary that is probably within this range, this is their equivalent tax rate. For anyone within this range, this is their equivalent tax rate. Like that, like that. So VLOOKUP, look at this value, the table range, all of this table. Like I said, you want to make this and then the column index of the result you want 1, 2, 3, 3, and then you want an approximate match. Then you press enter, and then you have your equivalent result. Did we get this? Did you get this? The person that did not get it the other time, I want to be sure you understand now.
Yeah, I
You
get
do
it
now,
now.
very well. Yeah, you understand it
Yeah,
very well now. Okay, good.
yes.
Mr. Emmanuel, do you have a question? I see you're typing.
No.
Okay, you get it. Okay, good. So we have VLOOKUP, we have HLOOKUP. So let's check HLOOKUP example. HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP is just like VLOOKUP, the opposite of VLOOKUP. So in VLOOKUP, we are looking at the vertical information. By vertical, this is vertical, column-wise information. That is information like this. Column-wise, this is vertical. Horizontal is row-wise information, like by the row. So now we have all of this title here, all of this, we have all of this information. And then we want to be able to select a theme so that we'll be able to see the year, the rate, the rating, and then the genre. Just like we did the other time where we had where we created a list. For those that are just joining the class, when you watch this class, you will see the explanation for this. So we want to be able to select a theme and then we'll get the equivalent of this. So we are going to use our data validation. Remember, you come to the data and then come to this validation to select data validation, change this to list, and then go to source. Yes, Mr. Emmanuel, you are raising your hand.
Yes, sir. Your screen is not, is still on VLOOKUP, your screen.
Oh, okay. It was on the previous, okay, let me stop sharing. Thank you for bringing me, pointing me to that. Let me just select my screen. Okay, you can see my screen now. So let me go back. So we have this movie data.
Yes, you can.
We have this movie data, and then we want to be able to check the data horizontally. So what we want to do first off is we want to create a list for this thing. What I mean by creating a list is that we want to create a data validation of lists. For those that are just joining the class, if you watch this class, you will see how I was able to do this. So you come to the data, you come to this data validation, select data validation, and then change this any value to list, and then select data source. So our data source would be all of this movie. This is going to be our data source. All of this movie. And then you press enter, you press OK, such that anytime we select any of this movie, we'll be able to get the equivalent year, the equivalent rating, and the equivalent genre. So we are going to use, instead of VLOOKUP here, we are using HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP, this value. So we are looking at the year, the table row is, this is the table row. That's the table row. Let me make this, and then the index number of what it should return. The index number of what it should return is the year, right? The year is in row 2. Am I doing this right? Row 2 exact match. I want to be sure I'm not doing it right. I'm coming. Sorry. Let me check. HLOOKUP. Sorry, let me check the exercise file. This is being called So let me retry it again. HLOOKUP, I'm gonna HLOOKUP, if value. And it is, but let me check. Why? Rule number 2. Was 2006, same. That's second number. Rule number of this movie. I guess we would most likely have to come back to this, to we most likely have to come back to this. We have to come back to this. We have to come back to HLOOKUP. It's been a while I've used HLOOKUP actually. We have to come back to this. So I'll revert to this on Tuesday in our, what's it called now? Our revision class. The third one is the XLOOKUP. So after the advent of VLOOKUP, a particular, if you check your Excel sheet now, if you check your Excel sheet, try to type XLOOKUP. Let me see. There are some Excel sheets, like some Excel version that do not have XLOOKUP. So the older version of Excel, they only have VLOOKUP. They don't have XLOOKUP. But in the modern one, there is XLOOKUP. And with XLOOKUP, XLOOKUP has now made lookup function much more easier than before. So let's go back to this. Yeah, let's go back to this, for example, now. So let me clear up the answer we have here. So in VLOOKUP, I said the other time that VLOOKUP can only look forward. It cannot look backward. That is, I cannot select a big number and tell VLOOKUP to look at the name. But for XLOOKUP, you can look both left and right. That is, you can look both forward and backward. So for this now, we've created our list here already. For XLOOKUP, you just have to write XLOOKUP and then the lookup value, which is this. This is the value I want to look up. Then the next thing is, let me make this an absolute reference. The next thing is the lookup array, the array you want to look up, that is this name, this name, it's in which array? So you have to select this. So you select this, which is the name. The return array, that is the equivalent array where you want it to return, that is the column, the exact column you want it to return answer, which is return array. For this one is bit number. So this is this. And then if not found, so the beauty of XLOOKUP is that it has an inbuilt error handler. So if not found, you can write not found, or you can just leave it empty. Then match mode is exact match. So exact match, and then you press enter. You really don't need the other ones. and then we have this result. So for XLOOKUP, you just need the lookup value, the lookup array, that is the array of the column array where you want to look up, and then the return array. But there is a problem here. There will be a problem if when you are selecting, for example, when you are selecting the lookup array, for example, now, if you select, so let me clear all of this now and show us what I mean. So now in our lookup array, I select this now. I select from athlete name down here. Now in our return array for BIP number, if I now select this data sheet is not equivalent, because for this one I'm selecting from A3 to A27. This one I'm selecting from B4 to B27. There will be a problem by the time I have the results. By the time I select it to have the results, it's going to give an error. The reason there is an error is because the sheet I'm checking is not equivalent. I'm checking, the array of what I'm checking here is maybe 20. I don't know exactly, I'm just guessing. But the array of what I'm checking here is 19. It is not balanced. So it's going to give an error. In order to be able to fix this error will be fixed the moment I turn this also to, I either turn this to start counting from A4, and then we have answer, or I turn this to start counting from B3, and then we have an answer, which means we have equivalence, like the same number of array of what's it called now, of our lookup array is the same one for our return array. I'm not sure if you got that. Did we get that, please? I want to be sure we got that. Did we get that, please? Please let's put it in the chat box if you got that. You did not get that. Okay. Let me go back. Let me explain again. So for XLOOKUP, XLOOKUP searches a range or an array for a match and return the, yes, and return the corresponding item for a second range. What that means is that our lookup value, this is our lookup value, lookup array, this is our lookup array. Our lookup array is the array of what we are looking up. That is, look for this person's name under this column, this name column, and then return the equivalence. This is the range. This is what we want it to return. This is the table we want it to return. And then, if not found, you can put whatever you want in it.
I don't know, maybe it's my end. The screen is not moving. I don't know if it's me.
Is it only your hand? Is it showing in the other people's end? Like, is the screen showing?
The screen is showing, but
Yes.
from my hand, it's not moving. Is it moving on your end, guys?
Yes, it
I'm
is.
moving. Do you mean by the time I'm typing all of those things, it is not moving? Is that what you mean by moving?
Yes, I can't
It's
see
moving.
typing, but now I can see it.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, so look
Mr.
up.
Isaac, please mute your.
I should use my what?
Okay, please continue, sir.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, good. Okay. So XLOOKUP, we are looking at this value you are looking up. And then lookup array, this is the array you are looking up. The name array, 27. The return array, which is this, the BIP number. If not found, you can leave that, but you have to write the comma, then comma, the next comma, then we want an exact match, and then we'll press enter. Then we have our answer. So this list, if we select another person, say White Daniels, you have the equivalent. Yes, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Teloeto, you have your answer. You have your answer. Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. All right, sir. Why are we having two commas before the the 0.
The reason we're having 2 commas is that there's supposed to be a response that we'll give here, but I don't want to put it. So the first comma, if not found, it is optional. That is, if whatever you are looking for, if it is not available here, what should be the result? So maybe you put not available, like our error handling, whatever that we did. So
yes,
that's why, yeah. So I'm just missing it out because I'm not adding an error handler there, and we have that result.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the same thing, I'm just going to copy this. For our route, we are copying the same thing. The only difference is we are just going to change our return array. Our route return array is not before, it is now this. This is our route return array. And we have the routes. Same thing for position. I'm just going to change this to this. And then, so we have the ultimate answer. And the reason we had a list here is so that anytime we change this, Tanaclear bid number. So let's check Tanaclear 1789. His route is east route and his position is true. So that is the beauty of XLOOKUP. So now let's use XLOOKUP also for what's it called? For our grading system. Where's our grading sheet now? Where did we have the grading sheets? Okay, yeah. For our grading sheets, we want to use XLOOKUP. So XLOOKUP, lookup for this lookup array, that is where it should look up. So instead of putting a table, we are just going to tell it to look up, to look at this lower bound, to look at here, from here to here. This is our lookup. So lookup, return array, this is our return array. Our grading scheme, yeah. Okay. If not found, okay, not available, or score not available. And so yeah, we are going to select, so there are 3 options. There is exact match. The other one, it was approximate match. But here, it has 2 options, exact match or next smaller item. It also has exact match or next larger item. In this case, what we are going to do is we are going to use exact match or next larger item because it's going to check 0, the next larger item, next larger item, next larger item, next larger item. Assuming what we did was the upper limit, that is from 100 down to the lowest, then what we'll be using is exact match or next smaller item. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I did not select match mode. Match mode should be exact match or next larger item. Yes, one. Yep. No. Okay. I mean, exact match or next smaller item. Okay. Okay. It's the opposite. It is supposed to be. For this one is exact match or next smaller item. Like check for this exact match or check the next smaller item. Okay, so we have our, if we do this down now, we have the equivalent of our result by using the XLOOKUP. So let's use it for this one, for our marginal return here. So XLOOKUP, look at this. Our lookup range is this lower end. The lower end, make it an absolute reference. Absolute reference. Return, this is what we wanted to return, the marginal tax. Marginal tax. And then if not found, I'm leaving it empty. So exact match or next smaller item. And then we'll press enter. And then we have our results. Please, is this clear? Did we understand this? Did we understand this?
Yes.
Okay, we do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. We all understand this. Okay, good. So I want us to check out the practice, the sheet I shared in the last class, like the file I shared, for us to re-practice, probably for those that did not join this class earlier. You can rewatch the whole video. Adenika will upload it on YouTube for us to rewatch and be able to catch up with it. I think, if possible, Adenika should, I will tell her she should try to put the Excel material sheet, the zip file. She should upload it to, you can try to upload it to maybe OneDrive or Google Drive so that anyone watching the video can also access it. So you can put the link of the sheets of the practice sheets. You can put it in the comments, the description of the video so that they can access it. So go to the Excel sheet, that is the file I shared. If you check the exercise 2 of the exercise file and the instructor section 4, you would see the VLOOKUP and the XLOOKUP, using XLOOKUP. So this is another example for XLOOKUP. Okay, this one is XLOOKUP and match. They are not, let me see. Category, okay. Select app, okay. They've already created an app category. Yep. Candy Crush, okay. So we've already created a list of apps, category XLOOKUP, lookup for this value, lookup array, this category. Oh, lookup category is actually this, not that. It's an app, look up that category, and then return array is to return the category, if not found, match mode, exact match. Yes, Candy Crush is under games. Facebook is under social media, like that. So if you check the practice question, you would see for XLOOKUP, you see for VLOOKUP. Yep. So exact match, approximate match, and XLOOKUP. In our next class, in the revision class, I'll try to check out for XLOOKUP and, if possible, index and match. Index and match is made use of for those that their Excel does not have XLOOKUP. So if you try your Excel, if your Excel version does not have XLOOKUP, you can use Google Sheets. On Google Sheets, there is an XLOOKUP function on Google Sheets. So modern Excel version, they have the XLOOKUP. Older generation of Excel, I think Excel before, is it 2016 or so? They don't have the XLOOKUP function. So yeah, so I think we've come to the end of the class today. Madenka will drop the voice, the link on the group. It should drop the video on the group, and then we'll pick it up from there on Tuesday. On Tuesday is just our revision class. So if you have any question, you can bring it. And then, yeah, please, let's also make sure that we come to class early on Tuesday. Can I resend the file? Okay, I'll resend it. And that's why I told Ade, that's why I want Adeka to upload it on a drive, so that we can always check it, have access to it on the YouTube link. But we'll send it after this class immediately. Thank you everyone for joining today's class. Have a
Okay,
wonderful.
so I would.
Okay,
Hello?
you want to have it? Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, so I said I'm going to upload it on the YouTube channel. So
Okay,
thank you
okay.
everyone.
All right. Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful
Good
day.
night, guys.